Welcome back to another video for the best show on Netflix, Stranger Things. Today we're going to be looking at a new video they just dropped that is a behind the scenes documentary style video that includes so many new scenes from season 5. And this was a surprise. All the actors are reminiscing on where they started to where they are now, and then they show some of the biggest, coolest things we've seen from season 5 so far. And it's not even technically an official teaser. Netflix seems to have officially started hyping up season 5, and with only 60 days left until the final season releases, it's about dang time. In the last official teaser for season 5 we broke down, which was a very extensive video, you should definitely watch it if you haven't yet, there was 87 new shots from season 5. And just to put into perspective how much new stuff they hid in this BTS video, there is 53 new shots. That's 60% of the last teaser. All the new shots from season 5, and that's not including the looks at the new character outfits during the interviews. And we found some really surprising stuff at the end of the trailer, so make sure you watch until the end of the video. Now, besides all these new season 5 shots, they also snuck in a lot of really cool BTS clips from previous seasons. But for this video, we're just going to be looking at the season 5 related clips. And this first shot is a really cool behind the scenes pic of the shot they released a long time ago of the very first table read for season 5. This is when all the actors come together in one room, they sit down, and everyone reads through the script together for the very first time. With all this behind the scenes coverage, I'm really hoping we get an in-depth documentary after season 5 finishes. And then here's a really intriguing shot next, something we've never seen before in all of Stranger Things. It looks almost otherworldly, very magical, just a random door in the middle of nowhere. These blue supports on the bottom will be taken out in post, so it'll look something closer to this possibly. But there's also a chance that it will be completely replaced digitally to make it look more magical or ethereal, and they're just using this physical prop as a lighting reference. Also, with it suspended off the ground, it makes me wonder how characters are actually going to interact with it. I mean, maybe we'll see it just be this imagery and no one will ever go into it. I wonder if Vecna will be behind this and it will appear as a vision or hallucination like the grandfather clock in season 4. Possibly something to lure children into his reach. Definitely suspicious. I would not go near this if I were you and I was living in Hawkins around this time. Now, the next shot is another interior shot of Hawkins Lab in the upside down from season 5. If you remember, they gave us a very similar shot in the first BTS video. This one is looking down the hallway into the rainbow room. You can actually see the rainbow on the ground here, and then the rift on the wall where Eleven pushed Henry Creel through. But this is the first time we've seen the rainbow room like this, with all the upside down overgrowth on it. And same with this hallway in the new shot. They released a photo of what looks to be the lobby of the building with more growth all over it. We see in the teaser Dustin, Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan literally drive into the upside down in season 5 to go to Hawkins Lab. So this will no doubt all be part of this little group side adventure. I really love seeing how many practical vines the building is lined with. Last time I drove up to Atlanta, they were actually filming here at Hawkins Lab, and I can't help but wonder if Jonathan will actually die while they're stuck in there, while I was right outside the building. Now, this next video is of director Shaun Levy crossing off completed shots on a shot list board. This is typically used to physically give the director a collection of shots to keep track of that they need to get for each scene. Once they get a shot, they can mark off all the ones they got and easily see what they still need to shoot. Ross actually posted one of these a while ago, a shot list board of Hopper, but Shaun Levy is only reported to be directing one episode this season, most likely episode 6, Escape from Camazotz. I think directors are unconfirmed for episode 7, The Bridge, but if we look back at all of Levy's Instagram posts and the pics of him on set, we can see him directing Gaten inside Hawkins Lab in the upside down, and we also see him directing Steve here in the same place. We see him also in the radio station with the entire gang. We see him out behind Hawkins High School on the track field, out by the woods where the boys meet at the picnic table. We see him with Murray, and then we all saw him post a pic of all the Demogorgon actors for some big finale. But in this shot list, we can see Lucas a lot with the flat top. In one shot, someone bigger is carrying someone smaller, possibly Lucas carrying a kid to safety. We saw in the teaser he's running through the tunnels with some kids, most likely trying to save them from a threat in the middle of town. And a lot of these shots include multiple people running past camera. Yeah, this is definitely Lucas here carrying a kid. Someone comes to check on the kid, and then we see Lucas running with them. This here almost looks like Elle with her bun from these other shots we've seen of her with her hair up. It almost seems like here Elle is pointing where to go for Lucas holding the kid, and then next on the other side of the board is bars, like there's holding cells the kids were locked up in. Oh my gosh, wait, this isn't Lucas and a random kid. This is Max. This is Lucas, Max, and Vicky Vicky in the hospital. That's what all these long corridors and hallways are. Okay, so what tipped me off is this one shot right here. This is actually the exact same shot they've already showed us before in the official teaser. This is the shot of one of the Demogorgons that's searching for Lucas, Max, and Vicky in this scene, but it's on the table looking for them, and you can see their little heads below it. If it gets that close, I have no idea how they're going to get out of this alive. I mean, this is so awesome we found this. And in the shot of Lucas carrying Max from the teaser, you can see the nurse with them. Most likely Vicky also has her hair in a bun, like we see in the shots on the board. You can see through these shots them running through the halls as Lucas is carrying Max, and then close-ups on their faces once they find their hiding spot, and then the actual Demogorgons closing in on them. This is so cool. When they gave the actor that plays Vicky the Stranger Things Instagram for the day, she just went all around the hospital showing us Max's room 110, the front lobby entrance area, and also a new look at her hair and makeup. And then we also got a BTS pic of the actual Demogorgon on set at the hospital. This is of course just a model of the head used for reference for visual effects. If you have a physical example of what the model looks like in the actual lighting and environment, it's way easier to make a digital Demogorgon look flawless in post. Guys, make sure you're subscribed if you love Stranger Things. I've got some big videos coming out soon I've been working on that you're not going to want to miss. Alright, so moving on to the next shot, this is actual scenes from the show finally. Here the Duffers are directing Steve and Dustin in the car they'll be using to drive into the Upside Down. If we look at the monitor, we can see Dustin and Steve in the front seat, but it doesn't look like anyone's in the back seat. It's possible we can't see them, but what if they end up having to leave Nancy and Jonathan in the Upside Down or something? In this clip, Matt Duffer yells, "And you explode through!" Woohoo! So that means they're filming actually coming in or out of the gate to the Upside Down here. On the right monitor, you can see them drive the car almost into a silo or a barn of some kind. Possibly the one on the McCorkle's farm where the portal is. This looks really exciting. This is a cool close-up on Steve and Dustin in the car, excitedly yelling going through the portal, and Dustin is hanging on for dear life. Terrified, I'm sure, just like in the previs. Next is a shot of the legend, Frank Darabont directing Erica as she's sitting in Mr. Clark's classroom. This is from the scene we recently got a BTS pic of. I'm so freaking excited that Mr. Clark is coming back this season. I can't wait to see him again. It was criminal that he wasn't in season 4. This is most likely from episode 3, The Turnbow Trap, where we'll eventually see them end up at the Turnbow's house, which this trailer ends up showing a lot of. And then if we brighten this up, we can see that we are in the tunnels with Lucas underneath Hawkins. These are the abandoned tunnels that were once linked to the Upside Down and now look dead and all dried up. We've seen a lot of cool BTS looks at these. I love seeing these sets, and I can't help but feel like Demogorgons chasing the kids through these tunnels is going to be so intense. We can already see here that Lucas has blood on his shirt from the clip where something catches up to him, and the person on his left seems to be a new character. I thought it was Joyce at a quick glance, but this is for sure someone else. It could just be a stand-in for Joyce, so they didn't have to actually have Winona Ryder on set if they weren't going to use her face in the shot. I'm sure she'll be in the tunnels at some point since we see her at the barn safe house protecting the kids, and this will most likely be a point where the tunnels connect to. What's interesting is that to the left, even further, we can see what looks to be Mike's arm. It seems like the exact same jacket he's wearing when they cut a hole in the Turnbow's living room floor. They're definitely proceeding with caution, but I'm not sure when this is because of all the blood on Lucas. And then this is such a neat shot of the BTS pic they released of the gang first finding the tunnels in the Turnbow's house. I can't wait to see how this plays out in the show. It doesn't seem like Lucas has any blood on his shirt here, and Joyce isn't here either, but Mike and Lucas are in the same clothes. So I think this happens on the same day as the other shot, but just not yet. Here's a cool shot of Dustin's locker in high school with Hellfire Lives written on the door with a sick goblin doodle or something. We saw a BTS of this a while ago, but it's still really cool to see. Now, these next shots are a great new look at Murray, who we haven't seen too much of yet. I love the Bradley's Big Buy jacket. I really need to get myself one of those. And then here's a shot of him sitting in the back of his truck that we see the Demogorgon jump on top of in the last teaser. It's stocked with boxes of Little Debbie snacks and other groceries, I'm sure. And then it seems like he's talking to Robin here, or at least that's whose hair this looks like in front of him. And we already have seen them share a couple scenes together. I'm so excited excited for all the new team-ups this season, and Robin especially will really be making her way around. And then finally, in the sea of scary, danger, and high stakes for Season 5, we finally get a shot of Eleven happily hugging Mike, most likely out back of the radio station. It seems like she's in her training outfit and possibly just came from the junkyard with Hopper and Joyce. I really hope Mike and Elle have a happy ending this season. Here's a shot of Dustin on the walkie in the Upside Down, standing in front of what looks to be a giant church maybe, with these red double doors behind him. Nancy is sitting on the steps and gets up, and Jonathan is using the flashlight to try to see in the windows and turns to look at whatever Dustin is looking at, who seems to be raising his hand, possibly trying to signal Steve in the car. He seems pretty shaken up for some reason, which isn't great. And we know there will be some pretty big things that happen here that shake Dustin up. And now here's these beautiful shots we get of Mike and Elle chilling on top of the radio station at sunset. I mean, I feel like we don't usually get this much color in Stranger Things. I don't remember too many calm sunsets like this. It's nice to see that Mike and Eleven will most definitely have a little time together in the midst of everything crazy going on. There seems to be quite a few emotional talking scenes between them throughout the rest of the promos too, which is a little concerning. We're kind of trying to see who they're going to focus on this season, who they're going to build emotionally around that might end up getting killed off in the finale. So as happy as I am for all of these scenes, I don't know if this is what we actually want to see right now. Here's another shot of Mike, Will, and Holly on their bikes. We saw a similar shot in the teaser with all the military trucks driving past them. With how far out in the middle of nowhere this is, they might be biking to or from the radio station, but it seems like there's just nothing around. And they're on a pretty big road now, not the neighborhood streets we were biking down in Season 1. Now this is a sick shot of the 4 OG boys heading out to the filming location in the woods before school. This is the same day Dustin gets beat up at Eddie's grave, but in this scene he's not bloodied up yet, so there's a good chance this happens before the graveyard. I love that the boys are just being silly here. I'm not sure how much of this is actually in the show though. It kinda just looks like they're messing around in between takes. I did notice that Will is missing in the last shot. They released a clip a while ago of him from this scene wandering off from the rest of them, which is really concerning, but I'm really happy we're getting more time with just the original boys here. Now, this is a cool shot of Eleven in the Upside Down, walking out from behind the Turnbow billboard in her training outfit, ready to take care of some military goons probably. This is from the same moment we saw her and Hopper hiding behind the billboard, and Hopper throws the grenades up and we see the goons get blown up. Maybe there's a larger threat she has to take care of, but if you look closely at her face, you can see her nose is bleeding, like she's already been using her powers. It's crazy that not only will they be going up against Vecna this season, but also the military. They just can't catch a break. And then we get a close-up of Mike riding his bike down the street in his camo gear with his headset on. This is from the pic we saw of him and Lucas, most likely as they're off to monitor the military burning the portal in the center of town. I love the fit and that they're dealing again with both military and the Upside Down. Usually the Russians are involved, but now it just seems like the military will be the human antagonist this season. Here's Eleven on the back of a truck bed in the junkyard, which we've seen her training in, and rocking the headband we see her fly in. It seems like she's using the cab of the truck as cover and peeking out and force pushing something with a lot of emotion on her face. I wonder if something actually went wrong here, or if she's just giving training her all and Hopper's throwing pumpkins at her or something. Now, next is a close-up of the top of a Humvee, a military vehicle with what looks to be a spotlight possibly exploding. It almost looks just like a big light they use for nighttime operations. We see a couple of these vehicles in the military compound in the bird's eye view shots, and they could be using them during the nighttime burn that lures Vecna out. I mean, when Upside Down paranormals start happening, the lights usually tend to explode and go out. It could be that, or it could be a vehicle that follows Hopper and Elle into the Upside Down, and Elle uses her powers to explode it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then here we have another angle of Hopper's grenade blowing up the military soldiers and sending them flying. We saw how it'll look in the actual show, and we also saw another behind the scenes clip of this stunt. But this angle shows off the massive fallen Turnbow real estate billboard really well, which means that this was here since Season 1 in 1983 when Will first made it into the Upside Down to freeze it in time. Which also, I can't wait to see them go back to Season 1 and explain that. I have so many questions I need answered in this final season. Here's Joyce and Will in the radio station van in this next shot. Joyce seems to be driving Will somewhere, which we haven't seen this clip teased anywhere else yet. But Joyce is turning around pretty fast, as if this may be an intense scene where they're trying to escape a Demogorgon or transport some of the children to safety, possibly to the barn safe house. Actually, we did see in the last teaser that the radio van was parked outside the barn, so this could very well be them traveling to or from the barn in a hurry. Now, this next shot is actually a repeat, but it's been extended and it doesn't have the text on it like before, so we can actually see everything. It's of Nancy and Jonathan inside the Upside Down, most likely at Hawkins Lab. If we brighten it up, we can see way more on the sides. There's some kind of ceiling that's been broken apart where the big cloud portal is happening, as if they're inside the lab. The walls look industrial here, and there's electricity coming out of some of the exposed wiring. Nancy looks like she might be holding the shotgun she brought in here. I mean, this could be the moment she cocks the shotgun and raises it up in that room with all the white goop all over the ground. Maybe her shooting whatever she shot at might have triggered this reaction. But the portal cloud almost looks like a gate is opening up into Dimension X. They're inside the Upside Down, but if they need to find Vecna or track down Max, maybe they need to go further than the Upside Down, and that's why they went back to Hawkins Lab. This clip is so interesting. Now, next is a shot of Joyce holding her axe we see her wielding in the barn to fight off the Demogorgon with. And I love that she's going crazy mama bear and we see her wield an axe again for the first time since season 1, that iconic chopping down the wall scene. But here, it seems like we'll actually see her get the chance to fight a Demogorgon off with it. And I know she's strong and all, and she's got the axe and she's crazy, but I do worry how effective it will be against an angry Demogorgon bursting through. And then this is actually an extended shot as well of Mike with the kids downtown and Joyce and Will. This is my favorite, when they release the same shot in 2 different trailers, but one takes place after the other so you can stitch the 2 together to get a longer continuous shot. And the part released in this trailer is the beginning, which actually shows Joyce a little further back, and all the kids' faces have their jaws drop to the floor. Something insane just happened, but Mike and Joyce look like they've seen it before, or weren't surprised by it. I'm still thinking Vecna or a Demogorgon. Will is still slumped over on Joyce, who's carrying him, possibly because he used some new powers and got exhausted. And then this military guy on the ground still doesn't look real. Look at that face, it looks like a puppet. He looks like the military dummies Ross posted on Instagram a while back. Originally, we were thinking they might just be prop placeholders that would eventually get replaced with CG that they just hadn't gotten to yet, but they're still here. Maybe they are actually dummies. I'm so confused. You can also see in the combined shot that the group was running forward, and whatever they see makes them all stop dead in their tracks. Moving on, we get a cool shot of Nancy and Jonathan getting ready for battle behind a little bar in the Turnbow's house, it looks like. Nancy has on a face of determination as she examines and cocks her shotgun, while Jonathan is watching her and prepping a bunch of flares, it looks like. Most likely this is before their group's mission into the Upside Down. They're both wearing the same outfits, although we haven't seen these flares anywhere yet. I mean, it's possible that it's dynamite, but I have no idea where they would get their hands on TNT. Maybe at the quarry with the mining, but I don't know. Flares are more likely. Next, we see the armed military advancing inside the Upside Down, most likely towards Hopper and Elle, who are now hiding behind the Turnbow billboard. You can actually see this lip, or possibly curb, is also in the BTS shot of them getting exploded, so this is definitely the same scene, and would you look at what's in the background? It's the Humvee from earlier with the attachment on top of it. And now that we have a pre-exploded view of it, it seems more like a high-tech radar dish or something, or maybe some kind of sonar emitter. Maybe it's a disruptor trying to block communications or disrupt frequencies. I'm not really sure. This could just be the back of it, but it looks like there's a mini radar dish on it with the antenna pointing out to focus it. I mean, it could be a listening device to pick up on communications, but with how violently 11 seems to destroy it, I feel like it'll be something used to attack them or weaken them. Maybe it's what makes 11 pass out when Hopper throws the grenades. And then this next shot must actually be from season 5. I mean, I would think not with the Vecna redesign and how different he looks here, which is for sure season 5 footage, versus this shot. But they're doubling down on it. We saw a variation of the same exact shot in a previous BTS video, and now they're showing it to us again. Vecna looks the same though. It looks like he's in the Upside Down, walking through Hawkins Lab hallways possibly, going after Nancy and Jonathan, or maybe Steve and Dustin. I just wonder if this actually is season 5 Vecna, and why he looks so different here than in all the other shots. Maybe this is a flashback or something drastic happens to him mid-season that changes his appearance, so grain of salt. Here's some more shots of Lucas with Max in her hospital room. When the Demogorgon chases them, he's wearing this turquoise crew neck, so in this shot, nothing bad will happen to them, but it's still going to be hard to see Max unconscious all season long. If Shaun Levy was crossing those shots off the shot list board, that means it might be episode 6 before the Demogorgons get in the hospital and Lucas has to take her away. That would be so long. I wonder if she's going to have scenes in Vecna's mind space running through his memories trying to hide from him and survive. Kinda like season 1 vibes of Will being trapped and running and hiding in the Upside Down all season. And now finally we get another Jopper scene. I really hope they get some well-deserved screen time this season. I mean, it seems like they will, but after Joyce spending all last season traipsing around Russia, I really hope she gets to enjoy being with Hopper before crap hits the fan. This is a nice new look at Hopper's outfit with the elbow and knee pads over his jacket and jeans that he wears when him and Eleven storm the military facility and go into the Upside Down. This seems like it'll be earlier in the day as they're preparing for the mission, and they take a moment to give Jopper a scene together where Joyce tells him to be careful and come back home to her alive. This is a cool look at a scene we've seen a lot of different angles from. This takes place in the basement of the radio station. Here's a shot of the BTS from this spot, and this is also when we see Jonathan using the projector. Robin's in her crew neck we see her in with Will. I mean, Will's actually the only one who's not in this shot. Maybe he's just the one talking or presenting the idea/plan. And then we see Murray and Robin in the Bradley's Big Buy truck. He looks very intense driving here and jerks the wheel really hard. This might be in the sequence when we see the Demogorgon catch up to the truck and jump on top of it. Something crazy is going to happen. Robin's about to get thrown around too. We've seen a couple different shots from this scene. They released a BTS pic of the exact same scene. Then there was a shot of Robin and Murray together close to this scene listening to a walkie-talkie at the radio station, and Robin also is in this fit when she goes out and looks up to see the radio tower being engulfed in mind flare particles. So maybe in the heat of the moment, maybe season 4's mini finale, Murray has to rush Robin back to the radio station for something, and then they find this and get chased by the Demogorgon on the way there. Here we got a shot of the Duffer Brothers directing Hop and Eleven as they're in the room we've seen them from the teaser, most likely in the military compound as they try to go through the portal to go into the Upside Down, and that's where Dr. K comes after them. Hopper and Elle are both wearing the same clothes from the other shot. If the Duffer Brothers are on-site directing, this means it could be from episode 4, The Sorcerer. I mean, it could be any of the other episodes they're directing, most likely in volume 1, so episode 1 and 2 as well, but the scenes we see the most of, you can kind of expect we'll see the earliest, for sure in the first volume. Next, we get a cool shot of the Duffers watching the playback on some monitors and the boys behind them. Will, Lucas, and Dustin are back there, and Jonathan is in between them. This is really weird though, because the boys are in completely new outfits that we've never seen before, and that look nothing like any of the other outfits. Since the show will take place in November of 1987 in Indiana, it will be very cold. That's why everyone's always in long sleeves and jackets. And here, Will is in a short sleeve shirt, and Lucas got a haircut, no more flat top. Dustin looks like he still has his mini mullet, the longer hair, and might be rocking his thinking cap from season 4. And Jonathan has a little mustache going. I can't help but wonder if this is for the time jump at the end of the season. I mean, if so, that's great to see Dustin, Will, and Lucas survive, but I have no idea where else this scene would be or why Lucas would have a different haircut. When Jonathan moves away, you could possibly see Nancy behind him, or there's this orange hair behind this person, which might be Max, but you can't really see well enough to be sure of anything. Still really interesting though. Now, here's a shot of the gang most likely before they go to the Turnbow house. All of them are in the same outfits, and here's Frank Darabont. This is before Lucas gets blood all over his shirt from something. Dustin still looks pretty beat up from earlier. I still just can't get over how awesome Steve's sweater looks here. It's kind of funny how serious Steve and Dustin look for how much Lucas and Mike are messing around. And then we see a cute BTS shot of Millie hugging Ross still on the bed of the truck from the earlier shot. And then we get a clip of Steve and Dustin in the car again, but this time with Jonathan in the back. And it also looks like Nancy is behind Dustin too. You can kind of see her little hand behind his headrest. Dustin has headphones on like he's listening to something quiet. Maybe something the radar dish on top of the vehicle is picking up. And then here's a shot of the crew outside the radio station, and it looks like Ross is getting some angles on his phone while they prep for a scene in the van. You can see the radar dish on top moving. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the clip from the first teaser, with how much they're showing us new angles of all the repeated shots. Now, this next shot is really interesting, because this obviously looks like the covered entrance to Hawkins Lab, but inside the Upside Down, where the group of 4 was headed, but I count 7 people in this clip. 4 on the left and 3 on the right, and surprisingly enough, none of them look like the group that goes into the lab. We also know that Millie Bobby Brown was on this set from this picture she posted, and this is for sure Hawkins Lab. I mean, it's possible it's the military who followed them in. It kinda just looks like civilian clothing though, shirts and jackets. This almost looks like Robin, her fit with the leather jacket, but I'm not sure that she ever goes to the lab. Next we have a BTS clip from episode 3, The Turnbow Trap, and surprisingly enough, Lucas is stunt double is here. I was not expecting a big stunt to happen here. But the first time we saw Darabont directing Caleb in the Turnbow house, the lights were flickering, and they still are in this scene. So some kind of paranormal upside down activity will be going on. It is interesting though that in both of the Turnbow house shots with Caleb, he's by himself. I wonder if he'll come back to the house alone and smuggle kids into the tunnels, because in the tunnels he's also alone and in this same outfit. I guess he does have to get blood on his shirt at some point, so maybe there's a big stunt with a Demogorgon or something. And then after this, we get a shot of all the military goons entering Hawkins Lab in the Upside Down, being led by Alex Bro, the actor that will play the main soldier antagonist. I wonder if they're here on their own, or if they're hunting down Hop and L, or possibly the other gang that comes here. Hawkins Lab is definitely going to play a really important role this season. Now, here's another shot of the military, specifically Dr. K arriving on the scene coming out of a Humvee. There's a lot of rubble on the ground everywhere. I'm not sure if this is the Upside Down or not, but they might be pulling up to somewhere in the real world. I don't see any vines anywhere, and there's no hue or fog or blue vibes that you would see in the Upside Down shots. There's some blue lights on this building in the back, but I don't think it's the radio station. Next is a shot of Eleven running through the Upside Down with her bandana covering her mouth. I mean, besides the tree and the light pole here, there is nothing around but fog. We see her put the bandana over her face in another shot, and she might be alone here. I wonder if she split up from Hopper for some reason while they were in the Upside Down. And then we get a shot of some soldiers shooting in front of some Humvees, and it looks like their friend is having a nap under the vehicle behind them. With the dark red lighting illuminating them and their weapons pointed upwards, I wonder if they're backed up against the stores in the middle of town in the military compound, and they're shooting up this ramp towards the portal, like when Vecna or some Demogorgons first come out of it. All the lights on the vehicles and the street lights are going haywire, so I think it's safe to say Vecna or Demogorgons. And then we get an absolutely beautiful explosion engulfing 3 soldiers in the flames. This seems to be in the military base. It almost looks like on the right here, this rounded building might be the barracks type thing that the military is keeping the young children in. I really hope all these chaotic clips are from the Demogorgon massacre downtown. I really think they should release as much BTS footage as they have, because I would love to see all the behind the scenes for their biggest season yet. This is going to be massive. We get another shot of Karen and Holly holding onto each other inside their house. This is the same as the other shot from the last teaser, except whatever they were scared of in this one is now an immediate threat in this one. And these are the same outfits that they end up hiding underwater in the bathtub in. So this is most likely a Demogorgon attack. Possibly the one we see Nancy and Elle showing up to, bursting in the door with the shotgun. Next, we get a cool shot of Steve driving his car through everyone's backyards. He just burst through a fence here and is just pedal to the metal. I absolutely love this, and I can't wait to see the chaos unfold. It is similar to the other shot, except they're headed in the opposite direction now. We can't really see how many others are left in the car with him. This is a really cool couple frames of Holly absolutely floating through the forest. I don't know if this is actually Nell Fisher sprinting, but dang, she is moving. Holly's wearing her new cloak that we saw her sport in the last teaser, and while this does remind me of that random clip of the soldiers bolting through the forest, I'm not quite sold on them being related. The clip of the soldiers is much more pale and they're headed in the other direction. I would say Holly's running from someone else. And then we see Hopper in the same upside down outfit, but this time with a huge knife or machete stabbing something from the upside down. With how the vines or tendrils overlap here, it almost looks like Vecna, but larger. I'm not sure what this is, but it doesn't really react to being stabbed from what we can see. It does look like there's a little curb behind him, as if this is in the same spot or close to where the fight with the military at the Turnbow billboard takes place. But I'm not sure what upside down material he's stabbing here. It could be the wall we've seen, but I'm not so sure. Now, this is one of the most interesting shots of the teaser. Erica and Robin running forward in the barn while Will holds Derek down. Now, we know this scene starts with Joyce and her axe protecting them, right? Derek is standing on top of the loft here, and then a Demogorgon shows up and starts banging on the door, and then all the barn lights start flickering, and then the Demogorgon bursts in. But between that and this shot, not only has Derek either fallen off the loft or gotten down somehow, but Will is now on top of him, seemingly holding him down. Derek looks like he's propping himself up or trying to crawl forward, but not only that, the lights are not flickering anymore. Joyce is nowhere to be found, and Erica and Robin are running forward, leaning backwards. This means that they're running to a stop. When you lean forward and run, you have the intention to keep running for a while, but when you need to come to a stop, you lean back so you don't fall forward if you stop too quickly. In from the other shots, we could see Joyce was staring at the barn door in front of them, meaning that Erica and Robin might be running up to the doors to open or close them. Who knows where Joyce went, but there's a good chance the Demogorgon is not here right now if the lights are back to normal. I don't think they're running from something, but running to something. They're also both looking forward very intensely. I'd say they're each running to the door on their side, rushing to either open or close it. I mean, it's possible if Vecna's coming after the kids, and specifically Derek, that he might have possessed Will to try to get to him, but I'm not sold on that either. I don't have any better suggestion though for what's happening here. They literally gave us 8 frames. There's a quarter of a second here. After, we see Will and Robin in the woods. Will is looking forward and Robin runs up to him and stops. In the teaser pic they released of this scene, it's darker and they have their flashlights on, but they're looking directly upwards at something, so this scene probably takes place before that. And then last, and possibly one of the most exciting shots, is of a Demogorgon, once again coming through the ceiling. There's not much to figure out where and when this is, and I think our best guess is the Wheeler house, when Holly and Karen are scared holding each other. I mean, the new shot from this teaser, they are literally looking upwards, almost towards the ceiling, and we know that they're probably going to end up hiding in the bathtub from it. It almost looks like you can see it hovering above them here. The Demogorgon looks absolutely insane in this shot. I love the look of this portal too. They really upped their visual effects game with all the Netflix money. Such a crazy exciting trailer. Honestly, a lot of cool stuff, almost just as much as the last one. Tell me who you think they're going to kill off in the comments, and send this video to your Stranger Things friends. I will see you soon with another big video. Peace.